was your favorite part about the assembly today?
Well, I spent a lot of time in that gym. Not that I was a basketball player or anything, but the last 2 years that I was at Lincoln, I was working. Do you still have a student store?
Yeah, we do, actually.
Okay.
It's downstairs in the basement.
All right. Well, it used to be up here, higher, and I was one of the guys that took the tickets at the football games down at the gate down here. And then when that was over, we went into basketball season, and I would spend a lot of time in the gym taking tickets. And so seeing the gym again, I see they rolled the bleachers back in, probably the same ones that were all rickety from my day, but still the same gym.
So, what has changed the most about the school since you've graduated?
Well, I really haven't got to see a lot of the school, but I did notice that over on the east side that I think there's a few new buildings over there.
Yeah. Portables?
I think they're portables. Yeah. Those didn't exist. I've been told that the cafeteria, as I knew it, which was downstairs, is now classrooms. They've added classrooms down there. Mm-hmm. You guys have to eat in the halls? Heard that too. I mean, it's, I guess it's probably because you have a tremendous amount of students.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so what's the most exciting baseball game you've been a part of?
Most exciting baseball game? Well, I guess it would have to be the 7th game of the World Series in 1968. I'd already pitched 2 games for the Tigers, and we won those 2 games. And at one time we were down 3 games to 1. It takes 4 games to win the World Series. I pitched the 5th game, which made it 3-2, and then we won the 6th game in St. Louis, and the manager came to me and asked me if I would start the 7th game of the World Series on 2 days rest. Nowadays, the pitchers get 4 days rest, and he asked me only to pitch 5. At the end of 5, the score was 0-0. When I walked off the mound, I was like, glad this is over. And he was waiting for me on the top step, and he says, can you pitch one more? And I felt good, so I said, yeah. And then when I walked off after the 6th inning, I said the same thing. Wow, I'm done. And then we scored 3 runs at the top of the 7th inning. And that's when I went up to the manager and said, I'll finish it for you. And I stood out there in the 9th inning with a 4-0 lead. And I knew, standing on the mound, that we were world champions. They were not going to beat me. I knew it. I mean, it's the greatest feeling in the world. There was no tension whatsoever. Standing out there for the last 3 outs of the World Series, some things that most people don't think about, but at that particular time I was thinking about probably the 800 million people watching on TV. And I really wanted to raise my hand up and say hi. But, you can't do that. And we won it, and I felt great.
Yeah, nothing beats a game. So in your time as a professional pitcher, who is the toughest batter you've ever faced, and why? Like, what made him such a tough out?
The toughest batter I ever faced was a little second baseman from the Minnesota Twins. His name was Cesar Tovar. He was only a .250 hitter. He was not an outstanding hitter. But if I pitched him inside, he hit a line drive down the left field line for a base. If I pitched him outside, he hit one down the right field line. If I pitched him down the middle, he whizzed one past my head. I could not get him out come hell or high water. Until the very last time I ever pitched against him, which I did not know was going to be my last time. It was in 1975, our last appearance in Minnesota for the year. I couldn't get him out. So I stood out there on the mound and I told him everything that was coming. I said curveball, I threw him a curveball. I said fastball, I threw him a fastball. And he just kept looking at me. He hit 1 weak ground ball back to me, 1 weak ground ball to second base, 1 weak ground ball to the first baseman, and another one back to me, and he was 0 for 4. After the game, the catcher came running out to me and he says, "You think we should tell everybody what's coming?" We did pretty good against him.
That's weird. Do you have any advice to this year's graduating class, how to approach basically a new life now after Lincoln?
Well, like I said in the assembly today, don't goof around your first year out of high school. If you go to college, be serious about it. I know party time is waiting, but don't do it. I know a lot of people that, as I've grown up, neighbors that grew up across the street from me and went to college, and they all regret what they did their first year in college. I'm buckling down. All the girls go to college to find a husband, I know that. But, find a good one, girls. Find a good one. Make sure his family has lots of money. So you're moving in. They're moving into a whole new life. I mean, like I said earlier in the assembly, that fun and games are in high school, but now things start getting serious. Unless you go to college and screw off for 1 year, then it's, ooh, this is the best year of my life. I've had a lot of guys tell me that too. So.
All right, well, I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay.